I get to welcome you today to Matthew Simper's second solo piano recital. His first one was a birthday party that he organized when he was 7. That's what he wanted to do for his birthday, was invite friends over and turn it into a piano recital. And that made my teacher heart just really happy. Matthew loves music in general, and he really loves the piano, and it's such fun to teach him. He eats it up like he just speaks the language really instinctively, and he listens to everything I say and applies it instantly. Works so hard, and so I'm really happy to be able to present him to you today and the music that he's been practicing. So he's going to start out with his oldest piece of music. It's an invention by Johann Sebastian Bach. Raise your hand if you've heard of Bach before. Yeah. famous father of Western music. And he and I share a birthday, so it's special for me. So this invention is in the key of F, and it has 2 parts. The right hand is one voice, and the left hand is another voice. The right hand voice starts out, and the left hand voice mimics the right hand. The left mimics the right. So if you listen carefully, you can hear them starting kind of like a round and overlapping each other. The whole piece. Complicated to write. That's one of the reasons why Bach was just so revered. He was a brilliant man, but also complicated to learn. This is one of Matthew's first Bach pieces. We'll start with that, and then he will announce next.
Is Gollywog Cakewalk by Claude Debussy. One of my favorite things about this piece is the different themes and emotions of the piece, and especially the middle part. It's like all mysterious. I hope you enjoy.
on. Matthew learned never maybe a year ago. The reason we did this recital partly is because his repertoire list was just getting so long, just eating music like breakfast. And so it was hard to choose which one, but this one was one of his favorites, and he told me he likes it because it goes fast. So enjoy Fantasy Dance by Robert
piece I will be performing for you is the Legends of the Symphony of the Goddess, Movement 1, Offering of Time. And I like the different themes and stuff in it. And one of my favorite themes is when the main character of the game is in the field around the castle, and the beginning of it is. And then also when the main character is in the forest, and it goes. And for Christmas last Christmas, my sister gave me this book, and I haven't looked at it because I looked at it and it was like, this is hard. And then I just set it aside for a tiny bit, and then when I picked it up again and started playing it, I'm like, this is actually kind of fun. And then yeah, I hope you enjoy.
I want to say a couple things about that last piece. I don't play many video games, but Matthew has introduced me to a whole bunch of video game music. First with the Mario Brothers book that I had to go get as soon as he showed me. It's cool stuff, really rhythmic and fun. And same with this music. And we talked about how we think a lot of the great music being written today is being written for movies and video games and where the money is, you know. So that composer is really cool. I'll have to watch him. And it's because of Liszt, Franz Liszt, that we have to. He started the tradition of playing memorized and turned to the side for piano recitals. So we've debated if we should do this piece because I mean he's been memorizing so much music. Should we throw that one in there? I don't think he'll have time to memorize it. It's just so cool. So we just decided to go with it. He memorized as much as he could, which, as you can tell, is a ton of music. Anyway, so thanks, Franz Liszt, but also we cheated a little bit so you can hear that cool music. Okay, this last piece we put last. This is the pinnacle piece that Matthew's been working on the longest. It's a concertino, like a concerto, by Hummel. And you may not know that name, but Hummel was, if you don't, he was taught by Mozart and Haydn. Do he recognized either of those names. Those were his teachers, and one of his friends was Beethoven, sort of friends, friend, competitor, friend. So he rubbed shoulders with great, great people and was a great musician, and we just don't know his music as well, and so this is a fun one to pull out. Matthew's been learning this for a couple of years because he auditioned to play it with an orchestra a couple years ago, and he still couldn't reach an octave, but he just needed it, so we learned it, and then we came back to it a couple years later, and now he can just barely reach his octaves, and added those in and polished it up. And the good news is, you want to tell this part?
I won.
He won the Utah Valley Symphony
Even have proof.
Young Artist and Charitable Competition. He was the youngest one. There was another pianist who was in high school and a violinist in high school. And yes, he got that. It also goes on his music resume. And he would have had the opportunity to play with an orchestra with the Utah Symphony, but they're not meeting because of COVID. So we did a smaller version where I stepped in and tried to be the orchestra. That's what we'll do again for you today. So I'll be playing with Matthew, and this is Hummel's Concertino.
you remember this? Okay, what is this? A dragon. Matthew got this the last time he learned this piece because we used an analogy that he was fighting a great battle, and he was.
I was a knight, and I was going to I was like going into a cave with a dragon.
Right. And
I had to defeat the dragon.
so when he was 8 years old, well, okay, no, before that, you would have been like 6 or 7. And I want to talk about your goal for a minute, just so that everybody can understand.
Oh, yeah,
like,
I wanted to play with the orchestra.
when he was little, like Evelyn's age, he went with me to a concerto concert where lots of kids got to play exactly what he wants to do. They got to play with an orchestra. They competed with concertos and they won, and they got to play in front of the orchestra. And he sat on the edge of his seat the whole time, just mesmerized by these performers. And he looks at me and goes, I want to do that. I want to do that. Can I go do that? Am I next? Can I go get on stage? Like, I want to go now. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Take some more, you got to practice. And so the next one that came, the next performer was actually a conductor. I think it was a conducting competition. And he sat there and he watched the kid up on the podium conducting the orchestra, and he followed his every single move. And he's like, okay, practice now. Can I go and do that? I want to do that. So he set that goal when he was little. And I know right now in the church, we talk a lot about goal setting in the children and youth program. And so I just wanted to point out, like, this has been a great big goal. Matthew saw a dragon. This concerto, like playing music just like this, was a dragon to Matthew. He saw the dragon, he knew he wanted to slay it, he didn't know how. And he set the goal that he wanted to learn that. And so he started practicing. And was it easy at first? And we talked about with this piece, his hands weren't big enough to even reach an octave yet. So we were kind of modifying it. He was doing it a finger at a time. And we went back after he had learned it this second time around, and we watched his performance from when he was 8. And what did you say? It was kind of a torture chamber. What he sounded like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. He's like, I can't listen to it. It's so slow. It's so sloppy. It's not good. And so, yes, and I deem you now Dragon Master. That he has not only slayed the dragon, he has gone out and he has collected dozens of dragons, and they're all in his trophy room now. And so I just wanted to point out that story, and that anything is possible. That no matter what your dream is, no matter what you're trying to accomplish, right, Matthew? You can say it and you can say, I want to learn how to do that. I want to be good at that. I want to do something great. And all it takes is saying that and deciding that you want to try a little bit at a time. It was learning scales, right? And then it was learning to keep your fingers curled. And then it was learning to
how to
right. It was learning all the night techniques. And this time we studied. What did you study really hard this time? We watched videos of how to. Do you remember? Trilling. He didn't trill very well before, but this time,
like,
he can't even trill as bad as you did. He doesn't even know how to trill badly anymore. So,
like,
and so I see this as just kind of a great life lesson for everybody. That if Matthew can see this dragon and decide that he wants to slay this dragon, no matter what your dragon is, no matter what it is that you are wanting to accomplish, all it takes is dreaming about it, thinking about it, and then deciding what it takes to do it, and going every day a little bit, improving a little bit more every day, every day. So, anyway, thanks, Matthew. That was amazing. Thank you all for coming tonight.
virtually or in person.
And the bin show of William.
Okay, William, now you can go down.